Alright, let's talk about another Russian movie. Um, well, these little animated Russian movies are like very pretty, but they're kind of lacking in terms of like substance and personality. I mean, they're all based on like old folk tales and yeah, they kind of have like basic morals and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, they're I'm noticing more and more as I watch these that they're kind of lacking in the personality department. So far, so far, I think the only, like, just about all the foreign animated movies are, they're not really aiming for very much in terms of personality. Um, yeah, all of the most personality driven movies I've seen so far were all from America. But I will hold out hope that soon we will see more personality from these other countries because, I'm not saying they're like inherently weaker than the American movies. It's just that, you know, the American movies just have their own charm that, the other countries haven't quite captured yet. But still, Russia makes very pretty movies with some nice rotoscope animation. Um, and yeah. Um, but yeah, this is based on, well, I guess it's based on a story that, like, somehow connected with the Frog Prince or something. It's hard to tell what's based on what and which version came first, blah, 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 but anyway, this story's about a princess instead of a prince getting turned into a frog, and it doesn't spend a whole lot of time with her as a frog, or at least, like, near the end, she stops being a frog, so yeah, I almost feel like Frog Princess just, I don't know, but, yeah, so, there's this beautiful princess, and this evil king wants to marry her, and then she refuses. She calls him ugly, basically. And then he responds by turning her into a frog, and says that she needs to find true love in a certain amount of time, and if she doesn't, then she has to marry him. Um, so yeah, then there's these three princes. They have to marry whatever ladies find these arrows they shoot. The two older sons both find some fairly attractive maidens, and then, the youngest one, his arrow is found by the frog, and so he has to marry a frog. Oh, Russian culture. That's, obviously, I don't mean like the marrying a frog thing, but, yeah, so he marries the frog, and, she tries to impress him that, he's too ashamed to be married to a frog, and, his two brothers and their wives don't help matters. They make fun of him, and, then finally, after, like, they have to make, like, each of the wives have to make a quilt to show which one's the best or whatever, and then, of course the princess makes the best one. The other two kind of cheat by hiring someone else. The quilts they make look tacky, but yeah, then the frog princess made like a beautiful, this sparkly quilt with like an animated picture on it. So yeah, of course she wins. And then she gets invited to dinner, and then, she tells the prince to wait for a certain time so she can, then she transforms to her human form, because she can transform back into a human at night. Forgot to mention that. It's kind of silly when, like, in these old fairy tales, these magicians, yeah, these evil magicians, they just, make these little catches like, oh, well, you can transform back into a human at night. The spell will be broken if somebody kisses you, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it does seem kind of... I think Disney kind of works around these things a little better. Again, I know I'm harping a lot on these foreign movies for, kind of being like basic bare bones storytelling. And the characters go through some pretty basic arcs. I mean, one thing I will give the prince in this movie is that he has a lot more personality than either of the princes that we've seen so far in Disney's movies. But still, yeah, not a whole lot to offer. So yeah, the princess turns into a human again. So she shows up as a human for dinner, and everyone admires how beautiful she is. She has a lovely dance with the prince. And then, I don't know, there's kind of a crappy edit somewhere in there that, you don't have enough time to take in what's happening. So, I barely even understood what was going on, but, like, the prince, like, you see... I think it's like her skin, I guess frogs shed their skin like snakes do, right? So, the prince picks her dead skin off the floor and tries to burn it, and he thinks that would break the curse or something, and then the princess is like, oh no, you ruined it all, I gotta go marry the evil king now. So yeah, she turns into a swan and then just flies away. Yeah. Or yeah, I guess she sheds the frog skin when she turns into a human. I don't know. It's hard to even understand. It's basically just a bad edit. And maybe a little more, establishment early on. Like, you will shed your frog skin, at night. Yeah, I think they could have clarified that a little better. And again, a better editing would have done wonders. So yeah, she's forced to marry the evil king, and then the prince has to go out looking for her. And then he helps these, there's a couple animals he meets along the way. And, he almost, threatens to kill all of them, but they beg for him to spare them. And then they offer to help him later. So, yeah, obvious plot device. Obvious setup. Then he comes across the Baba Yaga, a witch from Russian folklore. And, yeah, she tells him She basically tells him what he needs in order to defeat the evil king, and then she gives him a winged horse, and the winged horse flies him off. Russians love their winged horses. I have been watching Tennille Flowers' Animation Pilgrimage series, and they were they always admire these winged horses, and yeah, they're pretty for the most part, even when they're their necks are all noodly, but yeah, I'm sure when they get to this one, it'll be no exception. But yeah, so there's so basically what it is there's this needle that can kill the goblin king or whoever, and it's inside this egg, which has been swallowed by a duck, which has been swallowed by a rabbit, which is being kept in this chest, which is hanging from a tree, which is being guarded by a three-headed dragon. So yeah, the prince kills the dragon, and then he has to get the chest off the tree. I forget if something like happened to the winged horse by that point because he easily could have just used that, but or he tries to like push the tree over, and then finally this bear he helped earlier takes it down. Basically, all the animals he helped earlier help him get what he needs. Like kill the animal that swallowed the other animal, blah blah blah. And then finally, like when he has to like break the egg open, like he tries all these, he like tries breaking it with a rock and all this crazy stuff, and then finally this baby bird just easily breaks it just by pecking it. So yeah, that's a strong baby bird apparently. Either that or Prince is just a weakling. Of course, he did kill a three-headed dragon, so I guess I don't know. So yeah, he takes the needle, he shoots it with a bow and arrow. He kills the Goblin King, and then the princess is still gold, but the king turned her into gold. So she's a gold statue, but then the prince changes her back, I think, with true love, basically. That's what seemed to stop all the gold, the golden touch thingy. What stops it is the power of love. And yeah, they hook up, and, the prince and the princess live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this is at least I could follow what was going on, so I guess that's the least I can say. And it didn't drag too long. This is like this has got to be the shortest animated movie I've reviewed so far. It's less than 40 minutes. It shouldn't even really qualify as a movie, but because of the time, yeah, I guess in that time, anything that's longer than half an hour, well, you never know. I guess there might be even shorter ones. But, yeah, this was fine. I'm getting a little bored of all these Russian movies. I think I just like movies with personality. I do love some heartfelt storytelling as well, some good animation, but what makes stories all the more compelling is when the characters, are likable, and it's kind of hard to really like a lot of the characters in these movies. They're just kind of, blank slates in a way, because they just kind of go along. They kind of feel like chess pieces, if you will. They just don't have a whole lot in terms of personality. So yeah, that's kind of the key word to what I feel these movies are missing. Perhaps it'll get better as I move forward. So yeah, fingers crossed. So, yeah, my rating for this will be 6 out of 10. And yeah, if you want to check this out, feel free. It's relatively short. But yeah, I do think there are better animated movies, including from Russia. So yeah, that's all there is to say. So, mash it and smash it, signing off.